DB came in with a headache. They gave her medication and sent her home. The next morning, her boyfriend found her gasping for air. By the time the ambulance got her to the hospital, the blood clots in her brain had already done the damage. They declared her brain dead that day. She was 8 weeks pregnant. And here's where this case becomes one of the most medically extraordinary things I've ever come across. Because over the next 4 months, with no brain activity, no consciousness, no capacity for thought or sensation, her body continued to grow a baby, a dead woman, a living pregnancy. And the question nobody had fully answered before this case: how is that even biologically possible? First, what brain death actually is, because most people get this wrong. Brain death isn't a coma. It isn't a vegetative state. It's not mostly dead. It is the complete and irreversible cessation of all brain function, including the brainstem. Every single thing your brain does, regulating breathing, controlling blood pressure, modulating temperature, coordinating hormone release, gone. It's the structure that controls your most basic autonomic functions, the ones that keep you alive without you thinking about it. When the brainstem dies, the body loses its central command. What keeps a brain-dead patient's heart beating is a ventilator and a significant amount of medical intervention. The machine breathes for them. Vasopressors maintain blood pressure. IV fluids replace what the kidneys can't regulate properly. Hormone replacement compensates for the collapsed pituitary. The body, left entirely to itself, would shut down within hours. So how did this one sustain a pregnancy for 4 months? The placenta is not like other organs. It doesn't wait for instructions from the brain. Once it implants, around week 6 or 7, it becomes functionally autonomous. It produces its own hormones. It regulates its own blood flow. It negotiates directly with the uterine wall for oxygen and nutrients, without any input from the central nervous system whatsoever. Human chorionic gonadotropin, progesterone, estrogen, placental lactogen. The placenta makes all of these itself. The brain is not involved. So when DB died, the placenta didn't know. It kept doing exactly what it was designed to do. It kept growing. It kept drawing blood supply. It kept building the fetal environment. The uterus itself is in a similar position. It's smooth muscle. It responds to hormonal signals, mostly from the placenta and the fetus, not from the brain directly. As long as those hormonal signals kept coming, the uterus stayed in its pregnant state. What the medical team had to do was essentially replace everything the brainstem was supposed to provide. Maintain the blood pressure so the placenta stayed perfused. Regulate the temperature because a brain-dead body can't thermoregulate. Manage the electrolytes. Replace the hormones the posterior pituitary could no longer release, specifically vasopressin, which controls fluid balance. They were running her body manually, like flying a plane on full manual override for 4 months. The fetus had no idea. Inside the uterus, the environment was being carefully maintained. The placenta was delivering oxygen and glucose. Waste was being cleared. The amniotic fluid was being produced. From the fetus's perspective, the pregnancy was proceeding. Fetal development doesn't require maternal consciousness. The heart chambers form. The neural tube closes. The limbs develop. The lungs begin their slow preparation for air. The fetal brain, meanwhile, was developing normally, growing its own neural connections, responding to stimuli, doing what fetal brains do at 12 weeks, then 16, then 20. A developing brain inside a body with no brain. That image alone took me a while to sit with. At 25 weeks, the medical team decided the risks of continuing were outweighing the benefits. A brain-dead body is extraordinarily difficult to maintain long-term. Without brainstem regulation, the cardiovascular system becomes increasingly unstable. Infections are a constant threat because immune function degrades. Diabetes insipidus, the collapse of fluid regulation from pituitary failure, requires continuous management. The longer it goes, the more the body drifts towards systemic failure, despite everything the team does. At 25 weeks, a fetus has roughly 80% survival rate in a well-equipped NICU. The team made the call. LB was delivered by emergency C-section. He weighed 1 pound 13 ounces. His lungs were underdeveloped. They always are at 25 weeks. He went straight to intensive care. He survived. His mother's life support was withdrawn 4 days later. She had been brain dead for nearly 4 months. From a purely medical standpoint, this case is remarkable for one reason above all others. It demonstrated that the pregnant body can be sustained in a state of brain death for long enough, with sufficient medical intervention, to deliver a viable infant. Cases like this one change how we understand the relationship between the brain, the body, and life itself. Stay safe. I'll see you next week.